Yo, what's cracking everyone? Ericship, Triple One here. So, as we all know, Toyota as a manufacturer has finally returned to the Forza franchise, more specifically in Forza Horizon 4. Now, Playground Games have been very smart about this situation, as they haven't just released all the Toyotas and Lexuses all in one go, but instead been slowly dropping one Toyota in each series update through the festival playlist. This is so that Horizon 4 will continue to have content arriving throughout the entire year, keeping the game somewhat fresh in 2020. We have now seen two of the most iconic Toyotas in Horizon 4, the Supra and the AE86. It's hard not to speculate what the future holds now that Toyota is back. It opens up so many real possibilities and directions the franchise can move towards, which is incredible from just one manufacturer returning, and the power and influence that Toyota has in racing video game culture is unparalleled, which is why in today's video we will be looking at 5 real possible features in Forza Horizon 5 now that Toyota has returned. Number 1, the location of Japan Heightens. This has been a rumor for years that a Horizon game would be set in the land of the rising sun. In fact, many of us speculated that Forza Horizon 4 would have been set in Japan, as the first title was based in America, then we moved over to Europe and then Australia, so logically we all assumed that Asia was the next big continent that the franchise would be set in. Unfortunately, it wasn't. Of course, it was set in the United Kingdom, which was still a nice location, but I'm also glad that Horizon 4 wasn't set in Japan, as I felt it would have been kind of a waste. Horizon 4 as a game itself does have many flaws, from the lack of or removal of actual good features from past titles to many graphical errors, and if you want a car game to be set in a location where the car culture is by far the most unique and recognizable, then the game should be as clean as possible, at least from launch. So you might ask, how does this tie with Toyota? Well, Toyota, of course, being a huge car manufacturer from Japan, and since not that long ago, none of us ever thought that we would see Toyota back in a racing game, having Horizon set in Japan, where one of their biggest manufacturers would be absent, is kind of ludicrous for all racing fans across the world. I don't know what strings Playground Games have pulled to get Toyota back on board in their games, but it's only fitting to now set the next Horizon game in Japan with the inclusion of Toyota, and also on the upcoming next-gen console of the Xbox Series X. Number 2, Fortune Island possibly linked to Japan. Okay, so I'm diverting a little bit from the return of Toyota in this point, but just hear me out and let me know what you think. So excluding the original Forza Horizon title on the Xbox 360, each succeeding title has always had 2 expansion DLCs. The first is usually a tech demo or trial in which they would implement into their next title, hence Storm Island and Blizzard Mountain. Then the second expansion will usually be something that is completely different to the main game itself, for example, Fast and Furious and also Hot Wheels. Now looking at Horizon 4, yes, we did have Fortune Island, which showcased the beautiful night skies of the Aurora Borealis and also severe thunderstorms, along with the longest drift zone in Horizon history. Now, how does that have any correlation with Japan? Well, I know I'm digging a little deep here, but the Northern Lights, which I assume would be used in their next title, has been seen in Japan before in the top island of Hokkaido. Even though the phenomenon occurs very rarely, it's still a location that does make sense if they want to implement their Fortune Island tech demo into Forza Horizon 5. And let's not forget about the thunderstorms too. Of course, any place will be appropriate to incorporate lightning. Yes, I know for this particular point I am stretching the string a little far, but it's something to take into consideration. Then of course we have the second expansion pack, which will now lead me to point number 3, the Initial D expansion pack. So who remembers in Forza Horizon 2 where Playground Games released a standalone game which was Fast and Furious presents Forza Horizon 2? Well, for those who don't, let me refresh your memory. It was a free game where you could download for free, and it was in a sense a teaser to Forza Horizon 2. You will get access to around 30% of the actual map, but the races, cars, and story mission were all specific to the Fast and Furious story. It wasn't a demo of Forza Horizon 2, as the voiceovers, certain cars, and garage were all unique to the game itself. It even had its own online mode too. Now just imagine with the return of Toyota allowing full license to the Toyota AE86, and Playground Games already embedding many Easter eggs within the 86's perks that heavily reference Initial D in Forza Horizon 4. How epic would it be to see some of the most iconic Initial D cars in a Horizon game set in Japan? For me at least, I think it would be incredible, and again, learning from Fortune Island's Drift Zone, there is a fair chance that Horizon 5 could play out this way with many of its toge roads drifting down the mountains, but only if Playground Games and Initial D can come to a licensing agreement. Yes, I can appreciate Playground Games bringing in Hot Wheels and Lego into the game, but let's get back to cars, the culture it truly brings, what we buy the Horizon series for, and that is driving cool cars we are familiar with, but possibly never getting a chance to own them. I just don't want to see such a stray from the series where DLCs get too ridiculous that it would forget what Horizon is all about. Could this be something you want to see as well? Number 4, new range of Toyotas and Lexuses. This is perhaps the most exciting part about bringing back Toyota and Lexus into the franchise, as for years we haven't really seen many new road cars being added into the game. I believe the newest car we may have gotten, and correct me if I'm wrong, is the Toyota 86, and the rest have been featured in the Motorsport series back on the Xbox 360. So we are due for some new Toyotas to enter the franchise, whether it's the latest Toyota Supra Mark V, which would be epic, even if it doesn't make it into Horizon 4. I would love to see it in the next game, or even winding the clock back to some of the coolest JDM Toyotas from the 90s, like the Chaser, Aristo, Cressida. There is literally so many to choose from, and any new addition would be more than welcome to make its way into the series. Here's a short question I want to ask you all. If you had to choose 3 Toyotas that have never been in any Forza games that you would like to see in the future, which ones would they be? Mine would be a Toyota Aristo JZS 147, the Toyota Chaser JZX 100, and the V12 Toyota Century. And number 5, could we see more customization? So if we link all the points I have made, we've got a game set in Japan with new weather effects taken from the Fortune Island expansion pack in Horizon 4, developed on the new Xbox Series X, which means more power, creating a larger world with even more drift zones and mountain roads, catering to the legendary list of cars from Initial D, which all have unique customization, starring Takumi Fujiwara's Toyota AE86, with an array of Toyotas entering the game we have never seen before. It's quite a nice groundwork for the next Horizon title. As I mentioned, with Initial D cars having unique customizations and new Toyotas in the game, which would also hopefully bring an array of new customization too, instead of the Forza front bumper and spoiler. If Horizon 5 was set in Japan, I would love to see an increase in customization options for more Japanese cars and even exotic cars, as the car culture there is insane. Now, I'm not saying for Horizon to become a carbon copy of Need for Speed, but instead of adding cars that we don't usually drive, it would be cool to use that time to create more kits for vehicles that we do use. I'm sure Playground Games have data on which cars get driven the most online, and if any of those cars lack any visual customization, then they can create something either in-house, which they have done before, like the Forza Edition cars in Forza Motorsport 7, or used licensed body kits. Playground Games have already started with the Supra by adding more front lips, and I would like to see a consistent continuation of upgrades once all the Toyotas have returned, and also many of our favorite JDM, exotics, and even muscle cars too. So there we have it, guys, 5 real possible features that could be coming to Forza Horizon 5 since the return of Toyota. Let me know what you guys think. Do you agree with this list, or do you have any other ideas that could possibly be coming into the next Horizon game. Make sure to write it down in the comment section below. I do read all of your comments, guys. Anyways, if you guys did enjoy this video, please make sure to smash the thumbs up button. That would really help me out. And also, if you guys would like to see more Forza Horizon 4 content right here on this channel, make sure to click the subscribe button with notifications turned on. That way you won't ever miss out on another video that goes live. And I hope to see you guys in the next video. Peace.